All right, hello, third and fourth grade. This week we are learning about line. Now, by this point in your life, you should have line pretty much down. That should not be any kind of breaking news for you. But with this, we're refreshing our memory about the different kinds of lines, but we're also practicing our drawing skills, our coloring skills, and using good craftsmanship. That means you're making your art look the best that you can make it look. I'm never asking for perfection. I'm just asking for your best work. And you know deep down inside what that is, okay? And so we are going to draw this with Sharpie and we're going to color with crayon. If you prefer to draw with a pencil, that's okay. And if you want to color it with marker, that's okay too. I just recommend Sharpie and crayon. Okay, and then obviously you need a piece of paper. Okay, so let's get our supplies together and let's get started. Okay, so notice I have my paper going side to side where it's short and it's wide. And I am going to be drawing with a Sharpie. I'm going to completely skip the pencil step and go straight to the Sharpie. But if that makes you feel uncomfortable or nervous, you can still use a pencil. Still draw along with me using your pencil. And then when we're finished drawing, hit pause and you can trace over your pencil with a Sharpie. But if you want to live on the edge, like I'm doing, and go straight to the Sharpie, you can. Remember, we're not going for perfection, meaning we're not trying to make it perfect. Instead, we're just trying to do our best work. I never ask for perfection. I just ask you to do your best work. Now, the first thing we're going to do is make a horizontal line. That means it is side to side, and it's going to go straight across the middle of our paper from one side to the other. And so what I did is I've looked at it and I've made a teeny tiny little dot there because that's approximately the middle. And I'm going to take my marker and go straight across. Okay? And again, it's not perfect. I just did the best I could. All right, now I'm going to do one straight down the middle up here and down here. So right here from the line to the bottom, I find the middle. And again, I go straight across. Same thing here from the top to this line, find the middle, and I go straight across. Notice these go from one edge to the other. I don't leave them hanging anywhere. So if you need to hit pause and fix that, please do. And notice I have 1, 2, 3 lines. And they're all horizontal. All right, now I'm going to do some vertical lines, and I'm going to do one that goes top to bottom, right in the middle. So again, I kind of eyeball it. That means I'm looking at it. I approximate the middle. That means approximately. And I make a line that goes straight down the middle, top to bottom. Okay? And again, right here, I'm going to chop this in the middle. So I put a little tiny dot there, and I go straight down the middle. And then I'm going to do the same thing here and go straight down the middle. Okay? And now and again, it goes top to bottom. And now I have a page full of boxes. In fact, how many boxes are there? Because there's 4, 8, 12, 16 boxes. That's pretty cool, isn't it? All right, so now we're going to fill the boxes with different kinds of line. And we're going to take those lines and do them in 2 boxes each. So first, in this one, I am going to do a zigzag line. Okay, and I'm going to do some little ones with it. Okay, so you do the same thing. If I'm going too fast, you can always hit pause. And I'm going to do it again over here, but I'm going to change the direction. It's still diagonal. It looks kind of like a heart rate monitor. And then I'm doing it again. All right, so there's my first 2. Now I'm going to do some swirly lines. I love swirly lines. They're one of my favorites. little ones, little like baby swirls. All right, and then I'm going to do it again in another box. Little baby swirls. Okay, now I'm going to do a wavy line. And notice I'm trying to fill up the box by going high and low. I'm going to do it down here as well. Okay. Now let's do some vertical lines, which will be basically vertical stripes. Remember, vertical is up and down. Looks kind of like jail bars. And then I'm going to do some horizontal straight lines. Okay. I'm going to do another one like this where it goes up and down. Again, vertical straight lines. And another horizontal straight lines. So I kind of crank those out together. Oh, and see how that didn't go all the way to the edge? I'd want to fix that. Okay. All right, now we're going to do some curly Q lines. And we're going to let them be kind of free, not too rigid. Also do it over here. And I could have changed the diagonal direction on that. I didn't because I didn't think of it till too late. All right, now I'm going to do some diagonal straight lines. Remember in the video, I was talking about how because we read left to right, it makes us look left to right, so it looks almost like they're going up. But then you can also make them look like they're going down. So you think left to right with it. Okay, now we're going to do some dotted lines. They're also known as broken lines. They're also known as dashed lines. And they're the little short lines that are all in a row, like they're lining up to go somewhere. And then I'm going to do them again over here, but I'm going to do them going up and down. Look at that. Oh, we filled it up. All right, so if you did do it with pencil, right now is when you would hit pause and trace over all your pencil. If you did Sharpie like me, then you are ready to move on to coloring. Now, when you color, I recommend you use crayons. Because when you use crayons, one, you don't have to worry about them drying out like you do with markers. And when you're coloring a lot of space like this, markers tend to dry out really fast. Another reason I recommend crayons is because if you use crayons and you color softly, then we can still see all of our nice lines that we just drew. So I strongly encourage you to use crayons, but you are the artist, so it is your choice. You can choose what you want to color with. I just recommend. Okay, now I'm going to color one section to kind of show you, or maybe two sections to kind of show you what I'm thinking. I'm going to start with this. Now you get to choose the color you want. When you're coloring, you want to color in one direction. You want to color neatly. And you want to fill in all the white space with that color. Because the goal of coloring is to fill up that space and change the color from white to whatever color you're using. So for example, for me right now, it is yellow. I don't want it to stay white. I don't want little sections of it to stay white. I want it to all turn yellow. And if you haven't watched my Coloring 101 video, I recommend that you do. It shows you some good coloring techniques and tips, things to avoid, especially if you're new to our school. All right, so there I have my yellow. Now I'm going to do purple. Actually, this is more of a blue-violet, but it'll still work. And what I'm trying to show you here is not only how I'm coloring neatly and filling in the space, I'm coloring softly so you can still see those lines. And I'm using a variety of colors. The more color you use here, the better. We want it to be super, super colorful right. Okay, so for example, over here where I have my swirly lines, I'm using an orange and I'm coloring in the space where these swirly lines are orange, which is a little awkward because it's not your typical shape because it has this open area. But just think of it as kind of like a cinnamon roll. And you're coloring your cinnamon roll, whatever color. For me, it's orange. And see how I have quite a few white spots there? I'm trying to go over them and fix them. Color this little cinnamon roll. And see, I'm going round and round here, but it's still one direction, so that's okay. Round and round. There's a difference between round and scribbling, okay? And color one last cinnamon roll here. There we go. And then I'm going to make my background. This is that beautiful blue. And if you know a lot about color, you might notice that I'm using complementary colors here. That means they are across each other from the color wheel. So that means they are the opposite of each other, and that means it has a lot of contrast. They're very different. So they make each other stand out and look better. So blue and orange are complementary. Yellow and purple are complementary, and red and green are complementary. Coloring in this space. When we're done with this, there really shouldn't be any white anywhere on your paper. Okay, now I did miss something. Do you see what I missed? Right there. And I didn't even see it until I started coloring that box. So I'm going to go back over there, blue violet, and color that in. Okay, so hopefully you get the idea of what we're trying to do here. We're going to finish coloring the whole thing. I'm going to fast forward. You hit pause, and then we'll meet back here in just a second. Okay, so here is the finished product. You can see I colored the entire paper. I colored in one direction, I filled the space, I colored neatly, and I did my best work. Now, if you would like to show me your art, and I would love to see your art, but if you want to share it with me, take a picture of it and attach the image to that Google form that's on my site. And throughout the year, I'm going to be making a virtual art show. That means there'll be a website where we will display our art and have a virtual art show to enjoy everyone's art that we make throughout the year. If you or your parents do not want your art on the virtual art show, then just don't upload your image, okay? But do be sure you fill out that Google form because you do want to get credit so you can get your full art participation grade, okay? And thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.